Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be looking at creating collage on a quick use it up background in your art journal. So this is a page that I had in my art journal. I just had a load of paint left on my palette, so I've just basically brushed it into my journal. Really, really quick and simple. And I do that quite regularly in my art journals because one, I hate waste, and two, when I have days like the day I was having this day, I didn't want to sit there and do a background. I just wanted to collage. So having stuff already in your journals really, really helps with that. So it really doesn't matter what you put in. It could be you've got stenciling, it could be leftover paint, it could be using up your paint pen. Whatever I've got on it, I just collage over the top. And collage is usually a really good thing to do on those sorts of pages because usually the backgrounds aren't put together, so you're not really picking colours that go together or images that go together. It's always a bit random, and I find I like random, bright, crazy pages to do my collage on because my collages are usually bright and crazy and so on. So yeah, I would encourage you, if you've got leftover paint, leftover materials, just chuck it into a journal onto a blank page and come back and use it another day. As for the image I've got here, ever since we moved into our house, which is now nearly 10 years, we're still getting magazines that were, they're free magazines, but they're addressed to the other owners. And it had this really cool image on the front page, which I borrowed. So it's like, junk mail that sits in your thing. I'm not actually going through someone else's mail, just putting it out there because I know that's against the law. But this one is had this image with the bias issue on it, and that just really fascinated me. So I knew I wanted to do something with that. So I've coloured in his jacket. I've popped on a funky shirt for him, and now I'm making a baseball cap for him. So with the baseball cap, I'm just using leftover bits from ACT backgrounds I've made. So it's made out of cardboard. Quite often when I've got strips like this, when I've cut down my pages, I'll just leave them to one side and then I use them to put together little elements like this in my journals. And just chuck some glue on and pop it over the top. You'll notice I'm outlining everything with black pen. I do that quite regularly with my collages because that gives everything sort of a really two-dimensional, flat, cartoonish type effect, which I really love. And I'm going in and adding more details to the shirt because why not? Why stop at just colouring it? You can put details over the top of it as well. Quite often when I'm doing collages like this, I am watching something on TV and thinking that what can I do next, or how can I keep my hands busy? So quite often I will just keep adding and adding and adding. The trick, I suppose, to doing all this is to know when to stop. It's just taken me a long, long time, I have to admit. I'm not sure if I've learnt that properly yet or not, but it keeps me amused anyway. When I'm looking at this now, I wish I'd moved the hat down a little bit. It's perched very high on his head. It does look like he's got a bit of a pumpkin pie on his head, but there you go. But I did want that bias issue not to get lost. So if I'd put the hat down further, that might have got lost a little bit. When I was doing this, I suppose the big thing that was going through my head was what's your unconscious bias? I had to check how to spell unconscious. I did get it right, but I just need to double check. So I'm using green because I'd used that in the shirt and I knew it would stand out against the background. And you can see I've chosen to write over the hat because obviously unconscious, I wasn't going to fit onto that page any other way. And I don't mind doing that because that's not a huge part of my overall design. It was just, an extra bit. You can still see it, you still know what it is. But for me, the quote was the important bit for this bit. Now I'm going in with my grey alcohol marker to give a shadow to my word letters so they pop out of the page. And you can see what a big difference that makes. And then I'm going in with the black as well, and that just completes it, makes it almost look three-dimensional. So you've got this cool sort of 2D cartoony image and then these letters popping out over the top. I haven't put bias on here yet. I will do, but I was trying to toss up where I was going to put it. I thought that the quote would be close enough to the bit across his face that I wouldn't need to put it on, and then I just decided, you know, I've got this big gap on his forehead, I might as well just write it in here. So that's what I did. So again, I'm going in and drying it off. You'll notice me when I'm using paint pen, I do tend to dry it off quite quickly, because you can see I've just plopped my hand straight on it, so I don't want it to smudge out, and I dry it really quickly. Once I've done that, I still wanted to fill in the background, and one of the things I find with use it up backgrounds, because they're not thought through, they're not sort of put together, I tend to want to do something to tie it together. In this case, it was writing over the back, all sorts of different biases that, you know, I might have, people might have. And I did it in pencil because I wanted to be fairly soft, and then I'm doing some mark making over the top, doing lots and lots of question marks, because I didn't really want this bit to be red so much. I just wanted to sort of be in the background a little bit. To make the question marks look like they're floating too, I'm putting some black on it to again pop them out from the background, and you can sort of see how that's working, particularly in the close-up as well. One of my big things about this, I suppose, is, and it may come because I'm a high school teacher, I am very much a believer in critical thinking, and you know, once you get a piece of information, to actually do a bit of research in it and find out where the information's come from and if it's correct and so on. And it sometimes boggles my brain when I see people just believing what's on social media. And I have to bite my tongue very, very hard sometimes. So that's, I suppose, what was behind this, and particularly in conversations I have with the 14-year-olds I have in my classroom, or what they comment to me. It's like, oh, sometimes it's like, just go and look that up. Just go and see if you've got another opinion there. So yes, it's that's where this page is coming from. A bit of frustration after some interesting English lessons. Until next time, bye for now.